Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from YourBlackWorld.com. And today in New Jersey, there was a case that we saw in which a teacher, a substitute teacher, was suspended from teaching at a particular middle school in New Jersey because the teacher gave a student a copy of the Bible. Now, a lot of us would say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And it happens that the teacher's actions were against school policy, which states that teachers are supposed to be neutral when it comes to religion and faith. And so to talk about this, I wanted to bring along Miss Robin, who is a regular contributor to BlackBlueDog.com, and she has some things to say about this. And so first of all, I want to say, how are you doing today, Miss Robin?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Boyce. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, I know that you are a strong woman of faith. You also have a lot of experience in the school system, and you have an opinion about this. What is your take on this? The teacher basically, he says that the student asked him about a quote, and he said something to the student where he said, remember the last shall be first. And so this teacher, his name's Walter Tutka, basically wanted the student to understand where he got the quote from. And he says that in order to help him understand the quote, he gave him a copy of the Holy Bible. Well, the school suspended Mr. Tutka. He said he got a letter from the superintendent saying that he was suspended and his name was taken off the list of available substitute teachers. And so this has kind of caused some controversy. What is your take on this?
Well, my take on it is that we're seeing it more and more in our culture where the systems, education system, political systems, are really against the Bible. If it had been a Playboy book or some other type of literature, even the Quran or that new age religion that's coming out now, he would have been perfectly fine. But since it was the Bible, and God forbid that we give children anything that's going to help them in their lives in our culture, that's why he was suspended.
So you think that if he had given him a copy of the Quran, it would have been okay, but yet when it comes to the Bible, do you think that there's some sort of bias against Christianity now in the school system? I mean, what do you think about that?
I think there's an attack on Christianity in our culture, period, because we can show children see all kind of pornography on TV. They can wear all kinds of sexual T-shirts or sexual clothing, and that's fine. But if a child wears a Bible quote on a T-shirt, they want to suspend them, and they want to tell the children that you can't talk about the Bible in school.
So one of the things that, just so you know, Ms. Robin, a lot of the parents in the community have come up and defended the teacher, and some of them have said that they said, look, if you go to the library in that school, there are over 100 books on various religions. So they're saying, well, what's the big deal? If he gave him a Bible, then, he has the choice of reading it or not reading it. In science class, we teach various theories on evolution, et cetera, and you have a choice to believe it or to not believe. And then you have other areas where the students are given a choice. They're being exposed to various ideas and being allowed to make a decision. So do you think that it almost seems to me that maybe when you talk about Christianity, that's kind of an area where we've sort of attached a stigma, where we've decided that, okay, with Christianity, this is just bad, but if it's Islam or something else, then we're not going to necessarily treat it the same way. Do you think that these parents have a point, or, in terms of the kids having you? Go ahead.
Absolutely, yes, they do have a point, because what's the undercurrent is that there's a war against Christianity in our country. You can practice Hinduism, you can practice Islam, you can even be an atheist, and that's fine, and I'm okay with that if that's what your choice is. But anytime a Christian stands up and tries to tell their ideas or share their ideas, all of a sudden it's against church and state. It's against the Constitution, which is a lie from the beginning. We have free speech. We're supposed to have free speech in this country. I don't know what happened to free speech. It's like free speech as long as you're not a Christian.
Interesting. So, one other point I want to kind of bring up to kind of tie this, because I have to admit I kind of agree with you on this. I'm not in church as much as you are, as I know that your faith is very important to you, but I have noticed some differentials in terms of how Christianity is dealt with as opposed to other types of faith. And one example I can think of is I remember, we know that the Democratic Party actually took the word God out of the party platform. Now you can't really talk about Christmas anymore. You have to talk about happy holidays and, things that are very neutral about what sort of faith you support. But then also I remember at the Democratic National Convention, the Christian coalition wanted to hold, or I guess the Christian segment of the Democrats wanted to hold a gathering. And from what I understand, the DNC told them that they can't do it. But at the same time, a much smaller group of Muslims wanted to hold an event, and they were allowed to do so. Now, do you think that maybe part of this bias against Christianity could be driven by the fact that they feel that Christians have so many advantages that that maybe they have to be scaled back a little bit, that the Christian right and just Christians in general are so pervasive and Christianity is so prevalent that maybe it needs to be scaled back, as opposed to Islam, which kind of incurs another type of discrimination? I mean, do you think that there's any justification for dealing with Christianity a little bit different from everything else?
There's no justification in dealing with Christianity opposed to the other religions, but Christianity does have a component in it, the Holy Spirit, which really convicts man of sin, and man does not want his sin brought into the light. And so I think subconsciously, whether people understand it or believe it or not, they're really against Christ. They're not against Christianity. They're not against me. It's Christ, it's God that they're really rebelling against.
Interesting. Well, enough said. Most of you know where Miss Robin stands. She is a woman who is big on family, big on faith, and big on educating our children. And she comes at everything from an unapologetically African-American Christian perspective. And so I'm always happy to hear what Miss Robin has to say, because I think it provides an interesting point of view. So thank you very much, Miss Robin. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dr. Boyce.
And thank you all for checking us out at yourblackworld.com. Please keep coming back, and until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.